It's ADSN on the beat, where the data meets the street. James and Daniel in your feed, breaking down the code you need. Tech talk, ad game, and a little AI. Every week we got the chat on ADSN.
James, ADSN, welcome back. This week, we've probably got the most capital intensive episode yet, the most money flowing that we're about to talk about. And we're going to start with the SpaceX IPO last week and how much money was raised and made in that week. Everyone, we talked about it. Everyone was talking about this IPO. Every retail investor tried to get a share, at least one. And this post from Sawyer Merritt shows that, at least through Robinhood and a few others, every request from a retail investor got at least one share. I know in many cases, people were trying to do $5, $10, $100,000 and got one share. So a lot of people disappointed, but I guess everyone's participating.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, not only are we capital intensive, we actually are blue hoodie intensive this week. What is this incredible?
We were just
we really look. Yeah, it's like we should update the podcast art for this. But yes, SpaceX.
This is the uniform.
Congrats to a ton of people that we know that have been associated with that thing. First of all, it's incredible. Upon recording this, the stock's gone basically parabolic. It's over $200 a share, worth more than Microsoft. Yesterday alone, Elon Musk's net worth increased a full Warren Buffett, is what the stat is. They bought Cursor officially for $60 billion. I mean, this thing, and I didn't know this, it's only 5% float. And, everyone is pretty much locked up. They're, for almost the next year. So this is going to be pretty volatile, but, there are, longtime, Tesla bulls who are now in SpaceX who are like going all in on this. People are saying it could be the first $10 trillion business. I personally, not financial advice, I'm totally along for the ride. It's going to go all over the place, same way Tesla did. But this thing vertically integrated, not just like ads or like e-com, they've like vertically integrated now energy and transportation and now AI. Like this can be a very, very big business. And the other thing too, just then I'll shut up, is a couple of years ago, it was shocking to people that there could be a $1 trillion business. So like, as there's like little forms of inflation, and as rates go down, if they do, this thing could run. Like we may be on the precipice of a ridiculous bull run. It probably will end in tears, but I'm bullish.
Not for everyone. That stat a few years ago, the idea of a $1 trillion company was just like unheard of. Now there are, just fact checked it, 14 companies worth over $1 trillion. So the markets are shifting. I think it's funny that ads are along for the ride here. We're talking about a rocket ship company, an AI company, agentic coding, transportation, energy, and then there's ads. And you gotta love it. I mean, the two guys in this podcast, you gotta love it.
I know. It's like we really need to go. I think we should talk to Boeing or Lockheed and just see what we can do on their ads business.
I think Eric Seufert's everything is an ad network.
Yeah,
true. Everything now apparently is an ad network. I would not have thought that going to the moon would have been, but
whenever people say everything's an ad network, I do try to make an active effort to go ahead and tag Seufert, because like he does not get enough credit for this incredible line. I mean, that is like going to become like selling jeans to the coal miners, whatever. Like, he crushed on that. So yes, I think it's amazing. I think the Cursor news is incredible, and it shows how much leverage there is in the system if you have a bunch of excess compute. So like, not only, we talked about this previously, but like the application layer is the layer where like you are either most susceptible, but you've solved the distribution problem, and distribution is the hardest thing to solve regardless of who you are. And so like, even though Elon has all this X distribution, to go ahead and turn that into Grok code adoption is incredibly non-trivial. And so that he's got excess compute, he can then go ahead and king make application layers where they are now going to have, like Cursor now has I would argue probably an advantage over Claude Code. If Anthropic has to get compute from X, then like inherently now, Cursor sort of like on the path of leveling the playing field. So I think there's gonna be a bunch of acquisitions now by the frontier labs of applications. This is basically like everyone always says there's platform risk, and there always is. It just, everything gets speed run in the age of AI. So I would anticipate, like, I think OpenAI is going to buy someone like, I don't think it's going to be like Webflow, but someone in like the publishing business. Like instead of having sites, like they need to get someone there. Maybe they buy Rourke on the app dev side. I think there will be some ad tech acquisitions, not for the tech. I think the tech's a commodity, but like if you have people that are like living in certain platforms, I think you could see that happening. Just in terms of like creating all your marketing, stuff like that, like Canva, like maybe stuff like that.
Where my head was going.
Yeah, that stuff. I could see that one happening. It's going to be fun. It's going to be, the animal spirits have been released, and I'm here for it. And I think everyone should think about, how do we participate in this bubble? Basically,
you gotta luck is surface area, so we got to increase our surface area.
Gotta do that. Yeah, I agree.
This $60 billion acquisition of Cursor puts the Roku Fox deal. I mean, it's massive for the industry, but you kind of look at the numbers and you're like, oh, we just came through $1.5 trillion IPO, a $60 billion acquisition of like a 4-person startup, and like Fox is acquiring Roku for $20 billion. It's massive, but the numbers are fun.
It appears that liquid stock has a lower cost of capital than cash and debt. That would appear what is actually happening here.
This Fox and Roku, we've talked a lot about it, is just so interesting because it's two companies that obviously big players in media and publishing. Roku, 100 million households. Fox with the cable properties, with their IP, with Tubi in particular, bringing back AVOD, right, or ad-supported video on demand. The combination is pretty powerful. Obviously, they got to get through regulatory approval. They've got to get shareholder approval, but this one seems like it's happening.
Yeah, that one's gonna get through. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think I tweeted about this, which is like, I think Fox deserves a lot of credit for this, and they don't get enough credit for it. I tweeted like the Meta family of apps equivalent for TV is starting to emerge. A Fox family of apps connected through Roku identity. It's going to be really fascinating to watch it unfold. Yeah, I think the thing that Fox doesn't get enough credit for is they basically recognize like you don't need to have a super app. And I think it's very similar to like the idea that like when Facebook bought Instagram, you didn't go ahead and shove Instagram into Facebook or WhatsApp. You let these things breathe on their own, and then you go ahead and federate it through an identity spine of logins. And then on the ad side, you make it totally aggregated and you call it meta ads. Like again, in the case of meta ads don't really exist. It's just a way for you to go access their family of applications and their ad network. And so I think Fox has a chance to run that playbook. But I think if you look at Fox, they have Fox One, they have Tubi, they have Fox Weather, I think they have Fox Nation. Now they'll have the Roku channel. Like it's a recognition. It's sort of the inverse of what Disney's doing right now, like shoving Disney and Hulu together. And I think like in the old world where software was hard to build, maybe that made sense. But now, as Mike Christo says, software is solved. You should just spin up an unlimited number of apps for all these different audiences, cobble them together and have some shared identity spine, and then make, you can have consumer experiences be highly fragmented, but then just make the ad experience extremely aggregated. And I think you have a very compelling offering. So I think Fox deserves a lot of credit for doing that. And I think, and we know a bunch of people over there. Like that team's smart. I think this is going to crush. It'll take a while, but I think it's going to crush.
Yeah, I mean, good on them. That was an exciting one. Back in ads land, Substack, we talked about them last week, but they've officially announced ads. They're doing sponsorships. They have a package. Dan Robbins. Shout out Dan Robbins, former Roku. So doing big things in ads. This one broken by Alex Kantrowitz, friend of the pod. I like it. I like it for Substack, but it doesn't help the narrative that they're not gatekeeping the audiences and starting to take control from the publishers. I think this is just one step in that direction where this becomes a platform that they own and they're, rent seekers.
Yeah, I still think Substack is kind of going to have a problem when ChatGPT launches its own version of that. And then I think Substack maybe gets bought by Google at some point. You can kind of see where it all sort of heads. Like, I don't know. There's the only example of any company I've seen. There's two. We've talked about it. It's really Spotify and Netflix who get away with this, who've gotten out of the platform risk thing. And I think it's because it's just so fragmented and such a pain in the ass to do those deals. And they started doing their own content creation. It's like, is Substack Substack has to go fight them now. Like their enemy is really going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, like a Spotify, Netflix.
Sure.
Which I don't want to fight that fight if I'm listening.
No. And you could see those guys getting into this and expanding out. And yeah, those deals are so complex. Like the switching costs are so high for the creator. The switching costs for a writer is so much lower. I mean, you see it, people jumping between Substack and Beehive every day. That one seems really hard to build a moat around, especially, if ChatGPT opens up tools for writers and gives direct access, like you're kind of toast.
I mean, how much writing is done in ChatGPT anyway now? It's like so clear they should publish something they're going to have a newsfeed and there's going to be a multiplayer experience there that is very obvious, and your agent will go through it and recommend stuff to you. And that one, no one's talking about that yet. I think that maybe they are in different circles, but in our circle, I think this is like a good take that I want credit for when I'm proven correct.
All right, we're going to bring this one back.
Okay.
In other AI news, we've got Mercury, not a bank, right? Mercury, not a bank, a financial technology institution that works with banks, launched Command, which is their operating system, their agentic operating system. And I love this. I mean, we've seen it with Ramp, we see it with Mercury. Like, we're ushering in a whole new era of banking, where banking is can be multiplayer, it's engaging. It is not this passive thing where you wait for a statement and make a payment. Like, now you're actually in your bank, telling it to do things. You're working with it. It's a co-pilot. Yeah,
well, Robinhood launched agentic trading.
Yeah,
like this whole thing. It's over. It all happened. And it happened in 2 months. Yeah, and it's like not going back. And obviously, Salesforce has gone all in on the headless, which is like an API approach. History is written in whatever seconds. Like, it's all done. It's totally done. It's over. The dinosaurs are gonna have to figure out how to handle it. But I think the dinosaurs still have a lot of cash and distribution, so the dinosaurs can win.
I'm laughing at the dinosaurs though, because I don't know if you were watching the NBA Finals. There's a whole new ad that they're all promoting. I think it's called Pays. Elizabeth Banks and Gabrielle Union are in the ads, and it's like, oh, we work with banks and unions, and it's like, this is what we're pushing right now. We've got Mercury, Robinhood, Ramp pushing these agentic layers, transforming the entire process. And we have banks being like, oh, now you can connect money like Zelle and like Venmo to banks and credit unions.
I think they're just a couple of key hires away though from getting caught up to the script, right? That is probably an idea that was created a year ago. This is the big moment. Fair. They realize now it was lame. And I think, I don't know, you look at the Fox Roku thing. Yeah. These are legacy. Fox in particular is a legacy business that now is a gatekeeper to streaming. Legacy businesses can wake up, right? And I think especially the banks, it's whoever buys Plaid, at some point, but it's got to be a good example is Salesforce. when they bought Brett Taylor's company and brought Brett Taylor in, who was a former CTO of Meta, now on the board of OpenAI, has his own things here. It's raised a ton, but like Brett kind of, I think, took over product strategy, and like Salesforce became like highly acquisitive and went all in on this like very like API oriented framework. So I think some big bank can do this, but they got to do it.
Well, on the API front, you sent this. I feel like you sent this because it validates everything you've said for the last, I don't know, 2 decades, entire career. Sam Altman on the Paul Graham, talking to Paul Graham, advice that saved OpenAI: always make an API. That was it. 4 words: always make an API. He goes into it and talks more about it during the interview, but that's the takeaway. And so when we're talking about these big banks, API, like, come on, folks.
Especially now, you just need, it's like so obvious. And like, I can't even imagine having to defend, if you were at one of these big platforms and you didn't do this yet, like, and you're like, oh yeah, the API will be done in like 18 months or something stupid. Like, you just like, how do you even operate?
You're done.
I don't know.
You go very short on that company.
Yes, but there are a ton of them. There are some incredible products out there right now.
Yeah.
That have no API or a fake API, and you can just go through the docs. Actually, what's really fun now is putting API docs through AI and be like, is this actually a useful API? Yeah. And I'd be like, no, this is garbage.
You also find some AI Easter eggs that like
you do find
go to the API docs. And
I don't want to out any companies, but I think yes,
there's a few out there. They're fun.
We've seen some. There are definitely some interesting API docs that we've seen out there. But whatever, to each their own. Developers will find out, or they won't. It's kind of like putting out. Maybe their logic is like, at least I can say I have. It's like putting out a bad podcast. No one listens. It's okay. So maybe you have some garbage API that you publicized all over the place, but in reality, no one uses it, so they won't figure it out. Maybe that's how you do it. But
maybe,
yes, I think those will that will come to hatch, or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's awesome. I think at this point, I mean, even when you're like, I don't know if you started playing around more with Codex, I basically forced myself to switch from Claude to Codex just to like understand where they're going. And it's just so cool how like they're so much better at productizing tools actually than Anthropic in some ways, where like it's like talking to sites and like it's hitting images 2.0. It's like you can see how it's actually going to become this really multifaceted platform. But again, like all of it behind the scenes is like, it's this giant API infrastructure. So yes, very pro that. And yeah. And this one coming from Kristen Culver, which I think is a nice, like the other side of the coin, where she's talking about the PR marketing angle of it. And basically everyone right now is like, let's flood the zone to make sure that we're covered in the LLMs and that people will know about it, will show up. And her point is that awareness isn't the same as reputation. And that distinction is getting harder to sell when everyone's chasing the algos. And I think, we're like in this phase right now where everyone just wants to show up. And I think that's, at bat one of inning one, but then it becomes a reputation game. That it's not just, do I show up? Am I showing up in the right context? Am I being presented well? Are people trusting my answers? I think we saw the same thing in search years and years ago. Like everyone just wanted to be number one, and like bad press, any press was good press. And I think we're in that stage here, but I think she's spot on that like, we're not that far away given the speed of things, that people are going to have to start concentrating on the reputation more than just pure awareness soon. Yes, 100% agree. There, what is it, like the king's clothing? What is it, the emperor? You
got a basket of these today, huh?
I know. I don't know why. I was like, you're just very exposed in this world now because you can just have AI check it out, right? So like even now, I can have like Codex or Claude go and like you can like have it go log into the system, like some URL for you, poke around, tell you what it thinks about it, right? So like there's no more kind of bullshitting left. The only place I think where you can get away with it is enterprise like capture, where like I think, if you're if you are like Microsoft, not like using Microsoft as a bad example, but like they just have such control over big corporations that like they probably can ship subpar products that iterate and get better over time. So like, but I think if you're like a startup, I think like the most important thing is just it being quality and not sucking.
Yeah, totally agree. I think don't ship bad things and good things will happen. Still on the marketing front, we're seeing more of this, but startups doing super, super aggressive marketing pushes. This one coming from Varun Rana, where he's talking about it, where he makes the point that Coke plasters ads all over TV and like all over billboards, and it makes sense. They're Coke, they're big, they've been around for a century, they have a strong reputation. And then there's startups that are just everywhere. I think the Kalshis, Polymarkets, the robot one, I don't even know the brand, they're everywhere. And he's kind of like, it reeks of desperation and trying too hard. I don't know that I'd go that far, but I do think like we are at a point where, again, back to reputation, like just spraying and praying is not a strategy anymore.
I don't like this take.
So,
I don't like this take at all.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't like it. Oh yeah. I mean, Coke, I listened to that Acquire podcast about Coke, and the whole strategy was painting Coke signs on barns before Coke was Coke. Yeah. I think it's smart. I think you do need to build a brand. I think, listen, I don't know if you want to waste all your money on it.
I think that's where my head goes, is like, you got to have a business plan then.
Yeah. I think you just got to be clever. You just like, but there are examples of people who are out there. Like, I mean, they ended up, I think, going away, but there was that, what was that one? Like Clicky, whatever. There was an Andreessen Horowitz one where like,
the fact that you can't remember is a bad sign for their marketing.
But I'm close. Well, I know that it went out of business. That's what I know. But yeah, you got to figure out something, some alpha of like being out there, like, and I think probably one of the best examples of this is Elon Musk. Like Tesla didn't have for a long time like a marketing budget, right? They were just like everywhere. So like obviously they're incredibly well funded, and there's other things they're able to do, and he's obviously like incredibly famous. But I don't think that the key here is spending a ton on ads. But I'm not gonna shit on anyone who's trying to build a brand. I think that's smart right now. But there's probably like some smarter ways to do it. And I think people, I do think we're about to enter in a really exciting phase, but like I've also been through moments when like rates increase and cost of capital goes up, and like you don't want to be searching around asking for marketing budget at that point.
And I think that's where you got to get clever. I think going straight to Meta and Google is like kind of a crutch. Obviously it makes sense, but like Coke, like you said, is painting on barns. Like get clever, like do something a little different than just
commit low level crime.
Go around New York City and just start tagging buildings. Kalshi.
Yeah.
All right, it's time.
Primary post.
Primary post. Kick it off for us today.
All right, my primary post is from Justin Mars. He says, in my honest opinion, we are moving into a future where a new class of tech companies will increasingly resemble hedge funds. Tiny teams, high leverage using AI agents, revenue profit per employee through the roof. And I totally agree with this. The best example of this is AppLovin. You could argue just in terms of revenue profit per head. I think there's such an opportunity to just take existing businesses that are doing great, even businesses that were founded in the last year, and totally copying them and rethinking them in this new structure. Because it's so painful doing this to yourself if you already exist, that I think there's just tons of alpha finding highly valued companies that are in a little bit of a valuation trap, and basically starting competing versions that are just run so incredibly lean. And you can, same with hedge funds, you may pay 5 or 6 people a lot of money, and that's fine, right? You got your stars, but then everything that your kind of stars are doing is going to be leveraging these AI agents. And so it nets out to being incredibly profitable and interesting. So I think that is going to happen. I very bullish on that thesis. So that is my primary post. Someone should do that. Not named near you.
I like it. Someone named James Barrow should do that.
No, someone else should do that.
I like that one.
Michael Christo. Second Mike Christo
shout out this pod. I know.
Layers.com.
You got a whole basket of tricks today. I like it. Mm-hmm. You're coming ready.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna like.
It's the shirts.
The shirts, yeah. We're ready. You got the hat to match. Shout out Melon. When are you going to be a sponsor
what
of the pod?
Club do you have on yours? What is it? A golf? Is yours a golf one?
Mine is not golf. I see yours is Nike. Mine is some for wealth management or some finance thing that I give them money and I get a shirt. So
yeah, that's good. So we're very, very unks. What do you call this? Are we being uncles?
I think we're unks. I don't think we can call ourselves unks. I don't think we're cool enough for that.
Okay. I could say it. Unk.
My primary post this week is really a nod to us. I'm gonna give it to us. This one coming from Chris Tertelot, who's a fund manager and previous co-founder, where he talks about 11,000 new aerospace jobs added in LA County in the last 2 years, 141,000 average salary, venture capital in LA area, defense surpassing $4 billion last year. He goes on more and more stats, obviously. SpaceX minting 4,000 new millionaires. And his point is LA is the new aerospace capital of the world. Or maybe not new, but it is the old, but now we're back.
Howard Hughes is here.
Andrew just announced $1 billion new campus in Long Beach. NASA, JPL, Northrop Grumman, Rocket Lab. He goes through the list, all 30 miles within each other.
We're
back, baby. We're back.
LA City, which is very important. All in actually competent run cities, but we won't get into that. Actually, we can't get into that. I don't care. El Segundo is incredible. The thing that's funny about it to me is that I've been in LA for 20 years. I was like part of Silicon Beach, where there's all these like startups being funded out of Santa Monica. In reality, all the value was being built where all the previous value was, which is was like in El Segundo and in Long Beach and near where this is. Like, LA is a company town and always will be. It does two amazing things. It does entertainment and it does basically aerospace.
That's aerospace, yeah.
Aerospace. And in retrospect, we should have known that and leaned into it and trying to like pretend it was something different. And there's like tertiary benefits to it. So like the reason why it's actually really good for ads is because it was entertainment. Entertainment lends itself obviously to ad monetization. And then you have all these tertiary benefits that come from the defense industry that are tied to it. And yeah, it's awesome. I think LA should not, I don't think they should take it for granted, but I do think I'm encouraged by the fact that like it is taking place in places like Long Beach and El Segundo in Orange County. I think if it were in LA City, eventually they would be taxed into oblivion and no longer be able to operate here.
What's interesting, you look at the map. What's that?
Torrance has a lot happening there. We have friends. Cover Build is there. There's a bunch of good stuff there, but all independent cities that have.
I was going to say, if you look at the map, you can see where the old companies were, the Raytheons, Northrops, Impulse. They're all kind of clustered in and around El Segundo. And then you start to see the new names. SpaceX is elsewhere. Anduril's elsewhere. Carmen's elsewhere. Field AI, some of the ones that you just mentioned. Yeah. They all start going south.
SpaceX is going to Texas. Like that is the long-term trajectory of it. But I've talked to a bunch of SpaceX people that live here and they're like, I'll just get on the plane. They have a corporate plane that's at LAX. I see it all the time.
Oh my God. Google had the shuttle from South Bay to Google campus or San Francisco to Google campus. SpaceX is going to have their shuttle.
Yeah. Well, and it's like eventually when, but he said like, they have that idea of like Starship being used for
oh my God.
Like passenger. So you just like go up and down and just like, and then like end up in Texas.
This is,
But yes, I think it's great. I'm happy we're here for it. I'm really excited that it's in South Bay. I think you as a LA City native should not be there.
Go a little south.
Here. Yeah,
get a little closer to Anduril and Boeing.
Yeah. There's a reason there. Yeah. But it is cool. It's great. It's incredible for this local economy. And I like it. But I don't think LA should be the place where you build like a foundation model. I think that game is over. And I think you should build entertainment, defense, ads, real estate. That is what you should do here.
Like it. And with that, we're going to sign off, and everyone go do one of those 4 things if you're in LA.
And buy one of these cool things we got.
We got to start a store. I feel like we could get good affiliate right now.
I would wear an ADSN sweatshirt right now.
All right. We're going to do a poll. If we get enough votes, we're going to go do it.
Okay. Deal.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
It's ADSN on the beat, where the data meets the street. James and Daniel in your feed, breaking down the code you need. Tech talk, ad game, and a little AI. Every week we got the chat on ADSN.